Hello, welcome to my Kingdom Hearts tier list video. I just recently did a Final Fantasy XIV tier list video because I guess I'm just a tier list channel now. Isn't that super fun? So we're gonna start off strong with this video with everyone's favorite character, Alias. He gets so much screen time, everyone loves him, so many pieces of dialogue. I'm gonna put him into the C tier because I want to see him do more. I do like Alias, I like Lexius. Him and, where is he? Dylan, the two boys. I do like them. I think they have really cool designs, and they have... Well, Zaldin at least had a cool boss fight. I think his boss fight is pretty iconic. I don't like how they've just been kind of sidelined into the background, and especially for Zaldin, because one of his like defining character traits is having a silver tongue and being loquacious, and then they make him completely quiet. Like, at least going forward, they can give them, like, have them dispense side quests. Like, if you go to Radiant Garden or something, and you're just chilling, walking around, have them give you side quests or something. Do something with them. Don't just ignore them for the rest of the franchise, you know, because they are cool. So C tier is going to be, like, characters who I do like, but they don't do that much, and I want to see them do more. Ansem the Secret of Darkness. If this was just Billy Zane Ansem, I'd put him into S tier, but as the years have gone on, I feel like I've lost more and more interest with him. By KH3, he's just some guy. He's just standing outside of haunted houses in Twilight Town with Xemnas talking about datascapes, and he feels like a different character. You still get some cool boss fights. I like his stuff in Dream Drop Distance. You know, Darkness Within Darkness is a great line, Dreams Within Dreams, all that bullshit. Normally, like, overall, it'd be B tier, but Billy Zane's an S tier, so I'm just gonna kind of like find the middle ground here, give him an A tier, because he is a good villain. Ansem the Wise. So what's interesting about Ansem the Wise is that they did give him a character arc, but they kind of backtracked on it because, well, first of all, let's backtrack ourselves and talk about how his plan made no sense. He put data inside of Sora, but didn't tell anyone about it, so it was a complete coincidence that Riku uncovered it, because Riku went into Sora for an entirely unrelated reason. He didn't, like, go in there looking for Ansem's data, because Ansem didn't tell anyone about that. He went in to wake him up from his dream drop distancing, and he just happened to find the data, and that kind of, you know, helped some stuff. But then he gives the data to Ienzo, who just kind of, like, you know, sucked his thumb for like 12 hours, and then Ansem the Wise showed up and did everything himself by the end anyway. So it is this whole kind of weird roundabout way of bringing him back when he didn't need to come back. They should have just had Ansem the Wise, like, get killed off, and then they find his data or something, and then Ienzo can become president of Radiant Garden. I don't know why Ansem the Wise was brought back. One, he isn't even voiced by Christopher Lee anymore, so it's like, why should I care? Now he's just, you know, slightly more British Yen Sid. That's boring. You know, all the homies hate Ansem the Wise. I don't really care for him. He kind of had amnesia for like a day, and then they forgot that was a plot point between Blank Points and KH3, and then he's just completely, you know, fine after that. Aqua. Aqua's cool. I'm gonna put her into A for Aqua. She is one of my favorite characters. I think she's a bit too stoic, I guess. Like, she's kind of boring. I do like the whole kind of idea of her story with, like, you know, her best friends becoming evil and her having to fight them by the end of Birth by Sleep, and then they give her own little side game that isn't really a game, and then they, you know, they do some cool stuff with her, but it's more like the stories around her are good as opposed to her herself being that good. But I do like playing as her in Birth by Sleep. She has some fun command styles and everything, like Ghost Drive or whatever. I want her to become the new Yen Sid. You know, like, going forward, instead of going to Mysterious Tower and talking to Yen Sid, have them go to Land of Departure and talk to Aqua. Have Aqua be, like, their mentor, be, like, the in-charge lady. Have her be a girl boss. I think that's what I want for her to be going forward. I don't want to see Yen Sid ever again. Is Yen Sid on this list? No, he's not. Okay, good. Because if he was, he'd be in the E tier. Brain is a Union Cross character, so I don't really care about him at all. He's not a bad character. I think he's one of the better Union Cross characters, because he kind of does have a little story arc. I feel inclined to put every Union Cross character in the Who Is This tier. I'm gonna put him... C tier seems too high for a Union Cross character, though. But he's not bad. I think I'll be nice to Brain. His name's fucking Brain. That's so stupid. Chirithy with a gun would be S tier. But regular Chirithy without a gun, I'm gonna put him into D tier, because I don't really care about Chirithy. Like as a mascot, I guess he's cute. Like, I do like Chirithy's design. Demyx. Demyx is slightly above Lexius and Zoldan because he at least has like a fun personality. He also doesn't do anything, and I don't really care about what they're gonna do with him going into the future, because there's gonna be something, like, in my opinion, dumb. They're gonna like rework his character to be connected to the ancient Keyblade legacy or Rharyx or something, and I'm like, don't do that with Demyx. Demyx is just supposed to be some guy. He's just the guy. You can have characters who are just some guys. Not everyone has to be like an apprentice or a Rharyx different universe or an unreality person or a Keyblade wielder from the ancient past like Lorium. Like, just have these people be people. Just have Demyx be a person. He doesn't have to be super important. I think that's what makes Demyx fun, because he's just some guy. Donald Duck, I'll put him into B tier as well, because, you know, that meme is a meme for a reason. If he doesn't heal you, he casts lightning on Larxene. Like, dude, chill out. And then now with the whole, good spot to find some ingredients meme, Donald, shut up. Master Ericus tried to murder his own children, so he goes into the E tier. Not even Mark Hamill can save him from that. He is, you know, like, he is an interesting character. I'm not saying he's like badly written or anything. But I am saying he's an asshole. This is just a funny little flood. I'm gonna put him into the Who tier, because I don't know why he's on this list. Goofy. Goofy's an S tier. You can't hate Goofy. Goofy's the best. Axel. Oh man, Axel. Axel. Axel was one of my favorite characters. So if we were going to rate Axel in regards to like Chain of Memories, 2 Days, Dream Drop, he'd probably be S or A tier, definitely. But then in KH3, they give him this weird character arc that's not really a character arc, and it feels like they didn't know what they wanted to do with him. So, he needs to train with a Keyblade because he wants to bring his friends back. First of all, I don't know why he needs to be training, because he's already been a fighter for like 13 years, so he's pretty strong. But let's just say he needs to train with a Keyblade specifically, because that's like a new weapon to him. Because he needed a Keyblade so he could open up portals to travel between worlds, but then he doesn't do that. He just trains in the forest, and then they all go as a party to the Keyblade graveyard, presumably with a gummy ship. So he never needed a Keyblade to travel in the first place, and then when he fights with a Keyblade, he just uses chakrams anyway. So let's just say his training was to unlock Keyblade transformations. But even then, you don't need to train to unlock that. You just need a new fancy set of clothes from Yen Sid. So the training, him and Kairi both, they don't need training, they just need new clothes. And then after all that training is done, he goes to the graveyard, gets his ass beat like 5 times, and then Rharyx brings his friends back for him. So I don't know what Axel really did that impacted the plot. He didn't really get his friends back through any effort of his own. He just was off screen while Rharyx and Vexen and Demyx and the Enzo, you know, collaborated to bring back Roxas and Shion, and Rharyx was already gonna be a good guy anyway. So, I really do like him a lot. I feel like it's a disservice to put him into B tier, but KH3 was just like, what's going on with Axel? He's just, you know, this guy. Also, I feel like Quentin Flynn should bring him down a whole tier list anyway. Roxas. Roxas is that guy. Roxas is A tier. I don't think I need to really explain why he's an A tier character. He's just a really well-written guy. Sora, the main character. Sora at the beginning. In KH1, Sora was so good. KH1 and Chain of Memories, because he had like this whole little arc. Like, he had this thing where like, he's very happy, but also very sad. Especially in KH1, everything that he does is kind of underscored with this like, this hint of melancholy. Like, he's going on this really cool adventure, but he's really sad underneath of it all because he misses his home and his friends and he feels lost, and I feel like they found a really good balance between those two emotions. And then in Chain of Memories, you have him experience like this, or display a wider breadth of emotions, because he's like, you know, visibly upset with the whole memory tampering thing, and he lashes out at Donald and Goofy and Jiminy, and it's very interesting to see him in that kind of situation. And then by KH2, he's kind of like used to the whole adventure thing, so he's a bit more upbeat and casual about it, but then Roxas's kind of issues seep through, and he's like shedding tears and stuff, and he's also lashing out again. But then after that, it feels like they're just kind of rolling with him. Like, they need to keep Sora around because he's the iconic mascot main character, but they don't really have like a story arc for him almost. He's a nice kid. I'm not gonna like hate on him. B tier seems like generous for me. Vanitas is really cool. I'm gonna put him in B tier as well, because in Birth by Sleep he's kind of a really one-dimensional character. I say kind of, but he is. His only real appeal in that game is the fact he's like an evil Sora, and that was like, oh my god, the coolest thing in the world, 2010, right? And now he's... Ironically, he was a very entertaining character for me in KH3, mainly because of Haley Joel Osment's performance. But he's not that interesting still. Another little enemy, a little heartless, a little shadow. Who tier? Ienzo is Ienzo. I do like Ienzo. I think Zexion was one of my favorite characters when I was like in high school because of his emo haircut. Yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about Ienzo. He's there. I do think, again, he should have been the president of Radiant Garden. I think he should have just nixed Ansem the Wise and had Ienzo be the new guy in charge. But also, I don't think they should have been allowed to return to their stations as apprentices in the first place. These guys really terrorized this town 10 years ago. So it's like, they really just got off scot-free for that, huh? Just, oh yeah, we're just gonna go back to our old jobs, no one's gonna question it. Cool. Michael the Mouse. You know, people meme on Mickey for being an asshole, but he's also... Look at his face. Mickey used to be cool. Like in Chain of Memories and KH2, I was like, yo, Mickey Mouse? Like when he showed up to help you fight Zaldin or whoever in those boss fights, that was the coolest thing in the world when I was in high school. He's just there to also spout exposition alongside Ed Sid. But what's funny is that since the exposition is written so like retroactively almost, like it just makes Mickey look like an asshole. Ephemer is a Union Cross character, so he's gonna go into the D tier. I feel like it's unfair to put him under Brain, so I might just bring Brain down. I think I'm just gonna make a whole new tier. Nah, I'll just put Ephemer in C tier. He's also like a neat character, but he doesn't do anything. Kairi is like the poster child for C tier as part of this gang of characters who needs to do more and doesn't get any screen time. She just kind of hangs around to revive Sora once per game. They write her to be a plot point, a plot device, more than an actual character. And it's stupid because she's like a princess of heart who's also a Keyblade wielder. And like you can do so many things with her, but then they don't do anything with her. I mean, they do, but they don't. I liked when she wore purple. I liked purple on her more than pink. They need to go back to that. That isn't really like a plot grievance, but like a design grievance, I guess. And yo, even when she got her own game, it wasn't even her own game. And then at the end of it, Ricky was like, "Okay, go home." It's like, wait, what? What's huh? Like they don't even let her go on her own adventure, and it's so stupid because it's like what I said before. Like to train in this game, you don't need to actually train. You think Riku and Sora trained? No, you don't need to train in some magical forest. You need to actually, you know, go out into the cut and just start swinging. That's what Kairi needs. Hayner, Pence, and Olette. Yeah, they're just background characters. They all go into D tiers. I'm gonna put D tier for background characters, so Ansem the Wise goes into the Bad Father tier. So C tier is gonna be like characters who I do like, but they don't do anything, or they need more screen time. Mickey doesn't deserve to be here though. I don't like Mickey actually. D tier is for characters... I don't know what the division is between these two tiers, but I don't want Mickey up here with characters who I do actually like. Hater, Pants, and Olette, they're just side... Okay, side characters go into the Who tier. Except Olette. I like Olette. Olette goes into D tier. These are like... This is the bare minimum I like them tier. No, it's not. Cherthy goes down here. E tier... It feels so mean. It feels so mean. Who... Okay, fine. I'll just put all these characters into... This is the not bad, but I don't really care about them. There we go. This is characters who I do like and need to do more. This is the... They're not bad, but I don't care about them. So that means Union Cross characters go down here, right? Is that how that works? I'm really just winging this one. Yeah, this is good for now. Larxine's an S tier. How can you hate Larxine? There's no way. I love this picture of her. Luxord. If we were basing this off of Luxord's KH3 design, he'd be in the Who tier, because that's a whole new fucking ass face, man. Who is this little greasy badger? But overall, I do like Luxord. Luxord. I like Luxord. I hate Luxord. He's also... I'll put him next to Demix, because he is a cool guy. I don't want him to be Yozora's fucking chauffeur from Different Dimension Reality Zone. I want him to just be a regular guy. Both of these guys need to just be guys, you know? Larxene, Alrena does not need to be a Keyblade wielder. This man doesn't need to be some Rharyx, dude. Demyx can just be Demyx. I don't want them to be reworked into different characters. I think they worked fine. It's just, he was just that suave gentleman who played card games, you know? Sometimes, you know, you just need to be a suave gentleman who plays card games. Marluxia is really cool. I like his design. I don't know why they're using his official artwork and not like an in-game photo like everyone the fuck else, actually. I do like Marluxia. We still don't know like anything about this man. Like, why was he trying to throw a coup? Why did he come back into the new group? We don't know. He's just there. So that, you know, is bad. From a writing perspective, he'd be like D tier. But in terms of, you know, vibes and aesthetic, like, this man's so beautiful, and he fights with like flower petals. Like, he's so cool. I also don't want him to be an ancient Keyblade wielder. Laurium is such a good name. I like Laurium as a name, and I like his Union Cross design, like his outfit. It's peak Marluxia. It looks perfect. Everything about him is perfect, and he's definitely one of my favorite organization members, but like, man, they don't really do anything with this guy. They don't explain shit. So, yeah, I do like him a lot. I'm gonna move him to the top. Aced gets angry and beats up kids, so that means he's gonna go into the B tier. B for bears. Ava is cool. She's like the only foreteller who like is a good character. Ira is the worst fucking leader ever imagined. Ava has a cool mask, so she's gonna go into D tier. Gula is, I don't even know who the fuck Gula is. He goes into the Who tier. Yeah, this seems about right. This was easy to parse right here, this little quick. The Master of Masters is Ray Chase. So if there was a Ray Chase tier, he'd be S. But he's a total enigma, no face, no nothing. He's funny. I guess I'll put him into C tier. I want to, you know, see his face. I want to see all their faces, actually. I do want the Master of Masters to end up being some kind of alternate timeline evil grown-up Sora. If they go through with that, if they make him adult evil Sora or some shit, that's an instant S tier. People hate on that idea, but I think it's really fucking good. Naminé's an S tier. Naminé's too precious for this world. I want someone to give her like a cookie and a hug. And I want Sora to actually say thank you to this poor child, because it's been like 1,000 years and he still hasn't done that. And then when he does do it, it's like, oh wait, no, epic prank, that was a mistake, that wasn't my real thank you. And it's like, can you just tell her thank you already? Yeah, Naminé's great. This is just a funny guy. How come this is not transparent, but the Heartless and the Unversed are transparent, and then they just gave up on this? I don't like that. That annoys me. Ventus is just some guy. I actually don't care about Ventus. It's like he's a more boring Roxas and a more boring Sora mixed into one, but he's been through so much trauma, and look at him, he's still smiling. How is he smiling through all of this? I mean, I guess it's like the double layer of amnesia. He doesn't remember any of his trauma. He's the poor child next to Naminé. Like, I just don't care about Ventus. I'm gonna put him into D tier. That seems very rude, but I've never cared. Riku is S tier. He goes all the way at the top. Riku's the best fucking character in this series. He has so much development. Riku's the reason Dream Drop Distance is good, because he's so fleshed out. He's just, I don't think I need to explain why he's such a good character. In Cage 3, he's so boring though. David Gallagher just feels like he was not into it at all. Saïx is actually like an A tier character. He is an S tier because he's not like my favorite, but he's actually really well written. And I wasn't expecting that back when I played Cage 2, because Cage 2 was written before they kind of fleshed him out in Days, so he's just kind of a generic lieutenant villain. After Days, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm kind of invested in this little angry dude. He's still an asshole. I don't like how they are making him friends with Roxas and Xion. They should have a restraining order on this man. Like, I get the whole atonement, apologizing, whatever kind of deal, but it's like, no. I don't want him to be close to Xion ever. I don't like that. But, yeah, he's a good character. I like Saïx. Skuld is gonna be a Union Cross character who's not down here, and isn't a foreteller, I guess. It seems really high for these foretellers, actually. Skuld is really cool. She doesn't do much. She's just kind of there. She's the only, like, Dandelion Union leader who doesn't have her own little arc, I guess. Strelitzia is dead. That's funny. She goes into the Who section, because she also doesn't do anything. Terra's S tier. I love Terra. Terra's great. He's a very homeschooled child who doesn't have any, like, real-world experience, and his dad's kind of an idiot. So I get where he's coming from. Him and Riku, top tier characters right there. Master Zibagabagort. I really don't like this guy. I don't like how they rewrite his history every game, his plans every game. He's just like a walk-in whatever machine. He goes into the E tier. I hate this man so fucking much. I like Leonard Nimoy. I like Christopher Lloyd. I don't really like Rutger Hauer that much, but I do like the actors who play this guy. This is just the tier for terrible adults, actually, in Cheerthy. Vexen. I love Vexen. Vexen is this greasy little asshole who's just never in a good mood, and he's perfect. Derek Stephen Prince totally kills the role. I loved when he came back. I don't love how he's like a good guy all of a sudden. You can't just... Him and Sykes both. All the bad guys just woke up one day after being recompleted and they were like, oh, nope, I'm a good guy now. And I don't buy that. I'm just gonna ignore that and just still give him an S tier. Xemnas is such a cool character, but he's such a missed opportunity character. Because they really hyped him up to have this these connections to Terra for so many years, and then they didn't do anything with that. So it's just like, wow, what a dropped ball. Xemnas is the dropped ball of Kingdom Hearts. His final scene in KH3, his dialogue, like what he says, is so cool, but it's so unearned. There is no story arc or character development for him to get from point A to point B. It's him and Ansem both. I didn't buy their final moments. It just seemed like they wanted them to be sent off with really nice poetic words. Ansem's more so, because his final scene with Riku and he's all like, you know, what a long journey you and I have been on. And I'm like thinking, bro, you're from the past. You were pulled from the past through time travel. You're the Ansem from the first game, before we even defeat you the first time. So what is this long journey we've been on? You don't know any of that. That hasn't happened for you yet. I get that it's just like a meta line for the audience because this is the first villain, but like in universe, it just made no sense for him to be saying that. Xigbar. Xigbar is should be an S tier character, but I feel like he just kind of stuck around for so many games and didn't do anything besides be vague that I kind of want to bring him down to A tier, because he's entertaining in every game. I don't hate him, obviously, but I feel like, yo, it's been like 13 years since this man was introduced. I feel like we should have gotten more from him in those intervening years, you know? And then they finally reveal who he is in KH3, and that was really, really good. But he's not bad. I feel like I've just grown bored of him over the decade and a half. So he's down in A tier. Xion is great. Shion's definitely the most well-written girl in the series. So she's gonna go into A tier. I kind of want to bump Aqua down to B tier, because I don't think, they're on the same level, I guess. Xion's really well-written as a character, and then Aqua has neat stuff happening in the story around her, so I guess it evens out. Young Ericus, I'm not even gonna put him on the list, that's stupid. These are all just young versions of character. Why is there young Nort and younger Nort? That's stupid. I hate young Xehanort. Yeah. This guy, he's going down with his older self because he's also a nuisance. Young Xehanort's thing is that he was only introduced to introduce the concept of time travel, a concept that we didn't need, and then they kind of just make him a generic villain after that. After his role was served in Dream Drop Distance, in KH3 they just kind of make him just like Team Rocket. Oh, there he is. Because in Dream Drop Distance he kind of had a little bit of nuance to him, you don't know if he's actually evil or if he's just following his older selves because he has no choice. But then by the time of KH3 it's just like, oh, he's just evil. He's just a jackass now. For the most part, don't really care for young Xehanort. I don't care for Xehanort in general. Yeah, okay, so this seems like a pretty good tier list, to be honest. Terra, Riku, Larxene, Vexen, and Goofy. This is a pretty powerful top 5 S tier situation. This is really good. I kind of want to bump Vanitas down to C tier, because he's kind of generic, actually. Hey, where's the Riku replica? Does he not count as a character? If Riku replica was on this list, he'd be probably A tier, but he's not here. This is more of a joke answer for a set, but I feel like it still works. I do genuinely love whenever a set's on screen. He's just so annoying. Maybe move Chirithy up? I don't know. Yeah, this seems like a pretty good, pretty solid tier list. If you disagree, you're wrong, but thanks for watching, though.